Good morning. It is May the 5th. Did devotions, Hebrews 5:9-14. We should desire to become mature Christians so that we can spread the gospel and teach. And we do that by practicing discernment, which is rejecting evil and choosing good. Hey, just finished breakfast, was cleaning up, was watching Daily V from Gary V.
Like if you want to be an anomaly, if you want to be great, you got to do different things. And so I think people waste time all the time, schedule all the time, like just waste time, make decisions, do it fast, get a lot done. I genuinely, and this is what people tell me when they get context from my world, I'm getting a week's worth of work in a day, which is why I'm getting so much done. And I think it's because I understand that most things don't matter. And that if you move fast, of course, certain plates will hit the ground, but a lot of plates won't. And it's a hell of a lot better than thinking about how you're going to keep 4 plates up in the air and never doing it.
The way you beat everybody.
Yeah, and that's just gotta do things. Gotta just put things out there because, the plate might hit the ground. It might fail. I might end up only posting one of these and then never doing another one again. But it's like, I did, and that's good. So go do things. Don't worry about how you're gonna keep them in the air because most things don't matter. And the ones that do, you'll be glad that you started them when you did, rather than thinking about it for 4 or 5 months like I do. V 156 at about 15 minutes.
Appreciate your aspirations, but I can't let them come at the expense of your mentality. And that's good, man. By the way, the KPI, the big win from this is learning that. The big win of being in my inner circle is the thing that I haven't brought up a lot lately, which is 99% of things don't matter.
I appreciate that you want to do great things.
Not at the expense of your, if you out-pressure yourself, you're not going to be able to achieve it. Like, I have the biggest ambitions of all time, but I'm also extremely comforted in accepting my shortcomings and not everything's going to work out perfectly. The ambition for perfection is the quickest way to not achieve perfection. I strive for what it is.
Yeah, so go try things because 99% of things won't matter. So because you failed at it, if you failed something that doesn't matter, then it was just learning at that point. I mean, every failure is in some way learning. And you'll never hit a home run if you're not swinging. Cliche, but it's true. Right, leaving the house, 12:30 or so. I didn't record my meeting with Tim and JD, but we got a client, which is exciting, so we're preparing for that strategy meeting. So that's cool. Learning things from Tim, want to have, you could just do the meeting, but if you focus on all the little details, have water already there, at each spot and everything, it just makes it feel higher value, and it goes more smoothly, so it is higher value. And instead of wait, do you need a water bottle, or is the temperature too hot? Well, already take care of those things, and the client feels more taken care of and everything, so it works better. So little things like that you learn from working with an entrepreneur who's high level, so that's cool. Hey, just had a great meeting with Andrew Carver, and learned about UI, UX, good design. Also interesting, so how a lot of these corporate brands, Jaguar, Cracker Barrel, they went from a detailed logo to a really simplified, ugly one that everybody was like, what in the world, we hate this? Well, he's saying that people are moving away from the simplification aspect of things and are now actually adding detail. If you check out Mountain Dew, that's a great example of that. Literally go look right now, what does Mountain Dew, what the new logo looks like. They're adding trees and a waterfall and everything. It's like, wow, that's retro almost. It's different, so that's cool. I didn't know about that, so that was cool to learn. And how to make things not look AI. What you're trying to do is make it not look templatized, because that's what AI does, and that's what a lot of 20 teens websites are. There, Wix and everything. It's all a bunch of templates, and so a custom website is custom because it's not doesn't have like here's another section type thing. Another thing, just listening to Scott Galloway on the Diary of a CEO, which is the #1 podcast in the world, which is cool. Anyway, he said something really interesting about AI that is an opinion that I've never heard before. And that was that AI is going to become like vaccines. AI is going to become like vaccines and air transport. What do you mean? Well, if you look at, before we had vaccines and before we had, air transport, airlines and everything, we didn't have that ability. And when we have these technologies now, our lives have massively improved. However, if you look at the industries, those industries, they're actually terrible industries to get into as far as shareholder value. the companies have not been able to capture value efficiently. In fact, their stocks are really not notorious, but they're not good investments because they keep going down. They get hurt and they don't really come up very well because they're not able to actually capture value for their shareholder. But for the general public, it's been great. In fact, literally, Spirit Airlines just shut down. Why? Because they couldn't make it work. But we've been appreciating their budget airlines and everything like that for 37 years, actually. So what he's saying is he thinks AI companies are all coming to one point, meaning, you know, ChatGPT and Claude and DeepSeek, so the China open source models and things, they all are able to steal off of each other pretty quickly and reverse engineer things pretty quickly. And this means that we, the consumers, are going to be the ones who benefit. We're going to be able to use this or that and change and switch, and the prices are all going to get driven down to where OpenAI is not going to make a profit. Or if it does, it's going to be really small. It's not going to be able to hold the crazy valuations it has been. And so consumers are going to do well, but investing in their stocks might not be the best idea because they're probably going to become like vaccines and airlines and things like that, where everybody's doing great except the stockholders maybe. So anyway, that was a really interesting take on all of that. I think where companies make money is when they use AI in physical things. So, you know, autonomous driving vehicles, i.e. Tesla. Ironically, AI embodied robotics. So I forget what they're called, but again, Tesla, those robots, that is where they're not producing things. And there's bigger moats. It's not as easy to compete in that arena. Whereas driving back from the gym, you know, sometimes I'm like, man, I just learned something from a podcast, and I'm like, but I don't have any time to like digest or like do something with it. And it's like I seem to go through so many podcasts, and like, I don't know. My dad says sometimes you just gotta sit in silence, and so that includes music too. Like, anyway, so that's what I was doing, and then that sparked in my brain like, hey, I should say, hey, man, you know, we should normalize just silence sometimes. Fun. Taking a quick run to Publix to get some milk, and hopefully nothing else because I need a budget a little bit more, just a little bit more. Ooh, mission kind of failed because I bought more than just milk, but guess what? Look how many I just bought right here. Things are so good, and they were half off, and it came out to be $1 per. It's 15 grams of protein, which isn't amazing, but they just make me happy. I'm like, for $1 in the morning to just like make the day go good, like, yeah, that's kind of worth it. And I'll got a police escort.
And so they want to start at zero on TikTok. And now what's happened is a lot of those influencers, creators, entrepreneurs are rushing to catch up. And what I want